Big Z Reviews. Forged in Fire is like a relatively long time running competitive reality show on the History Channel, and I love it pretty much.
You haven't seen anything yet.
These guys know they're up against Forged in Fire champions.
Right.
I'm terrified.
Well, we got sparks flying today.
And that's like almost white.
This competition means a lot to me, but I don't want to die.
The way I work is very similar to the way I live, primitive.
Never doubt Dave Road.
It's nuts.
I knew this was going to be an interesting challenge.
Don't go to the water.
No.
Woo! I'm extremely accident prone. Downside to this is I'm basically making a pipe bomb.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
So I have been watching Forged in Fire since like the first episode. I've been through all of it, and recently I've been binging them all again. I'm rewatching them all. Like, I think it started out with they got like season 6 they got on Netflix, and I was like, just needed something to watch, and and I watched season 6, and I'm like, I really enjoyed watching them again. And I was like, well, where do I get them? I was like, okay, go to Hulu. And Hulu has, like, Beat the Judges, and it has seasons 3, 4, 5, and 6 on it. So I watched all the shows on Hulu. And I was like, oh, okay, what now? I think I was like, okay, the History Channel. The History app had all the seasons. So I watched season 1, season 2, and then like season 7 and 8. And it was good. I mean, I really enjoyed watching them all again, and it's a really fun show. Like, if you have never seen it, it's like Chopped, but with blacksmithing. So essentially you have 4 competitors, and you have like 3 rounds of competition. And the first one, like they build a knife, the signature knife. And then they get rid of one person, and then they make it a handle and make it actually a full knife, and then they test it out. And then the final 2 go home and build like a bigger weapon, usually like a sword or something like that. And then they bring it back and they test that out, and one person wins 10 grand. And like, I love that style of show, but I love Chopped, and I love the shows like that. But I think in Chopped, in any sort of food competition show, you can't actually taste the food. So you're relying on the judges. And a good judge in a food show will kind of try to like explain why they like something and why it's sending them home, or what tasted good or what is good about it. But it's kind of fun because on Forged in Fire, it's always like, well, you're going home because your knife shattered and sent it almost into my face and I almost died. So you're going home now. It's a catastrophic failure, Or it's like, well, you handed me a block of steel that doesn't look anything like a knife. You're definitely not moving on, And I like that, and I like too that the best judges, like in this one, they have a couple different rotating judges. But I think the main core 4, they've had some come and go, but the main core 4 are David Lane Baker. He's a weaponsmith and also like historic sort of thing, and they have Doug Marcaida. He's like a Cali practitioner, and he does a lot of testing. He's probably the most memeable member of the crew. He's like, it will kill, or like, it will cut. When he does the testing. And I think he's probably something like slightly controversial too, because he's expert at like one-handed stuff. He had a knife, like with a cram bit. He's insane. Like if you watch videos on YouTube, I don't have his own YouTube channel. A lot of times they're filmed in like 480p, but like he's just insane with all this stuff. And like he's so quick, like that style is so kind of looks insane. But like he's not that good at European style martial arts, I'd say, like HEMA, because like he in a lot of the stuff, like when they have a 2-handed weapon, and you'll see him like a lot of the YouTube channel Forged in Fire has like they've collection of like the most catastrophic failures and stuff. And a lot of them, you watch him, it's like, well, his edge alignment was really bad there. You know, they don't say that on the show. They like sometimes they'll say, "Oh, your handle was really round, so I couldn't get the edge alignment in right." But they usually don't say that. Oh, I really messed up that cut, and the blade bent because of it, or the blade broke because I hit it with a flat and didn't cut at all. You know, but at the same time, it's almost better way of testing it, because I mean the blade still shouldn't break even if you hit a pig with the flat of the blade, it shouldn't break. But you know, when you're testing something with something that will cut or not, you have to be a good cutter. I almost wish they would bring in special judges sometimes and have a weapon to like, or special like practitioners to to test it better. But at the same time, I like the crew that they have. They also have the Jay Nielsen, and he goes crazy on testing everything. Like he's probably the blade breaker among them all. And like all the people though, like many of them when they test, like I always feel like you should maybe be wearing more protective gear. Like I don't know if goggles will do it. Like sometimes they'll wear gloves. Sometimes like some they have like a I don't know, like a ballistic sleeve or something that maybe so they won't get cut and then kill themselves on the blade. But a lot of times they hardly wear anything. But thankfully, usually when the break happens, the blade breaks, and the momentum of the swing carries the broken part of the blade away from the user. But the most dangerous ones are when the blade breaks, like in the tang, at the top of the tang, where it like, and the hand, so like essentially the top of the handle. It seems like when that happens, the momentum is different. And like that's the ones when you're cringing, like because like it seems like the blade comes back at him, and there's some dangerous moments. But thankfully, no one's ever been hurt. I think the most that people have been hurt is from unfinished handle pinching or cutting their hand, and one time like kind of hit like the hip broke and kind of hurt his elbow. You know, like. But I mean, though they're playing with fire, I think at some of the times. And then probably the fourth main judge is Ben Abbott. And he was actually like, he won like twice. Like he was one of the competitor. And he's really good at explaining whenever he's on, like if there's like something wrong, like something happens with the blade breaks, he'll like look at it and explain exactly what happened. But I think I love to, David Lane Baker is almost like psychic, I think. But he's one that like a lot of times, like with all these shows, you can never tell how much has been edited. But I know, like, in Chopped, they love the foreshadow shit. Like, in the interviews. And I've read about it, and I heard about, like, how, essentially, afterwards, they have the producer will be going over stuff. It's like, oh, so what were you thinking when this happened? Were you ever thinking about what may have happened that? And, you know, it's like, so they kind of, they cut it all together. But I think the stuff with David Lane Baker, a lot of stuff happens, like, I don't see how they could fake it, because they're there at the judges' table and they're watching, and they're like, "Oh, he's like one person beyond the grinder. You know, he's really digging into that. That belt's about to snap." And then they, whoop, there it is. You know, like so many, like it happens a lot. Like he'd be like, "That's gonna happen." They're like, "Oh, that happened." Oh. It's always entertaining, and you know the host. For most of the show is Will Willis for almost the entire season. But like this last season, there was with a pandemic. We still got a season, but there have been some shenanigans. And I really like Will Willis. Like he's awesome as a host, but he might be a bit of a douchebag because he's like an anti-masker. So there was some shenanigans where like I don't know if that's why they couldn't give him the host, because he didn't want to wear a mask or what. But like there was like an Instagram fight going on between him and some of the previous Forge and Fire champions, because he was an anti-masker, probably anti-vaxxer, probably a Trumper. Like he was causing shenanigans and they're like you're having an Instagram fight amongst them. And they brought in the new host. The new host is okay. It's just he's new. Like they got another former military guy, and he is even more military than Will Willis. Like I kind of, when I rewatched the new episodes, I don't dislike him. I think he gets better as the season's gone on. But I mean, I like I almost wish they would have gone instead with like maybe a former champion, but they've had a lot of really interesting and funny people on the show. And there was also some other controversies with this newest season, because the first episode is the only one I was not able to rewatch because it's no longer available anywhere. Because essentially, one of the people that I think he lost, but I think he made it to the final two. Essentially, he had a Nazi white supremacist tattoo on his neck, and he had multiple like white supremacist tattoos, and I think it's so tough to know what is going on with that, because like people saw that, because like I don't think it was kind of, they could see like it peeking out among the obviously with the COVID restrictions, they're wearing gaiters and they're wearing masks and stuff. They had a gaiter around his neck, and the gaiter was mostly covering the tattoo. But like someone saw it and said, looked at it and looked at pictures, and pictures online. He's showing it off all over the place. But like I can't. I mean, it's not like a swastika. It's like some other white nationalist sort of tattoo, and I can't help but think that I'm not sure if they knew and didn't care, or they might not have known, but someone might have known and said, "Hey, that's not a good tattoo. Like, cover that up." Or if he was hiding it and didn't show it to anyone, and just got kind of lost through it. But I mean, you think you would do a little due diligence, but I don't know. It's kind of tough. But for a show that's running 6 years now, I think. Well, 7 years. I think this is the 8th season, but I think it's 2015. So yeah, so 6 years, but like 8 seasons, I think. Like, it's for one bad one, I think you can forgive them. And I think what they did after, I think the right thing to do to take it down. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. The only thing is, right now, I'm finally making a switch. I have had DirecTV forever, and I just got tired. It's so expensive, and it's just not, the service isn't great. And so I'm actually in the process of switching to YouTube TV, and I'm so far really liking YouTube TV, but there's the one channel that I watch that they don't have is the History Channel, and that's, I mean, I watch a little bit of Pawn Stars and the American Pickers, but like, and some other stuff that they have, but mainly what I watch on it is Forge and Fire. So I don't know, it's like, I guess I'll have to download it, or I don't know if there's any other purchasing options. Like, I don't know, but I'm glad I finished my rewatch before, but like for the History app, you have to, like, I do it through the DirecTV. They say because I watched DirecTV, I can get that. I think it's also, they added, like, it's part of Discovery Plus, I think. Every freaking channel has an app now. But I think that's like a paid subscription. Like, you have $5 for ads, or like $7 for ad free. So I might eventually have to get that. But we'll see. Because, I mean, I love the show, so I want to support it, but, we'll see. But, I mean, I really like that it educates the viewer, too, because, like, if you don't know about blacksmithing, they do enough to teach you about what's going on. But at the same time, if you watched every show, it's not too annoying when they don't repeat everything too much. So, I mean, I think a lot of people, I think, could enjoy this, even if you don't think you would enjoy it. If you enjoy competitive reality shows, I think you enjoy this. Just you're making knives and weapons and shit. The only people that may not like this are like PETA people, or people that don't like seeing animals cut up, because a lot of times some of the targets may be like dead fish or dead pigs or dead wild boars, or like sometimes they'd have deer. I don't know, heck of a lamb. They have other stuff too, but they have to cut ropes and shit like that. But like, there definitely are a lot, and they have like ballistic gelatin human torsos and bodies and stuff. Even that, like, Doug Marcaida loves it after he cuts up the human analog. He loves to like stick his hand into this cavity and like pull the blood. Like, oh, it will kill. Like, so if you know like that kind of stuff, you may not like it. But other than that, I'd highly recommend it. I mean, I love the show. I'd probably give it like a 9.5 out of 10. So thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, subscribe or see my other content down below. Thanks.